The young boy accidentally discovered a dark cloud flying in from the sky, but upon closer inspection, he realized it was a group of immortals. They were heading in one direction, and among this group, one person suddenly stopped, quickly swooped down, and landed directly in front of Chen. The boy looked up, seeing the person wearing a dark green robe. The person said, "I think I should say goodbye to you. That's why I came." At this moment, the boy's admiration and inferiority complex reached their peak. Looking at this spirited young girl, Li Baoping, who was next to him, pouted. Chen, who had come back to his senses, quickly bent down, intending to give the demon sword stone on his back to Ningyao. But after he stood up, he found that Ningyao had already left. Looking closely, a smile appeared at the corner of her mouth. She then looked back once before leaving the small town. What this woman was thinking was unknown, but the boy was filled with mixed emotions. He thought, "So, Miss Ning, you are an immortal." He watched in the direction Ningyao flew off, unwilling to leave for a long time. After coming to the town, he bought 2 skewers of candied hawthorn and gave one to Li Baoping. But after taking a bite, he realized the candied hawthorn was not only expensive but also not very tasty. Of course, as the saying goes, when the person leaves, the tea gets cold. All his friends around him had left. The candied hawthorn itself hadn't changed. It was his heart that had changed, and thus the taste changed. Yesterday, Chen came to the blacksmith shop, intending to borrow some silver from Wan Qiong. Because the Ban Shan Yuan had chased him earlier, many houses were damaged, so he planned to repair them. But as soon as he spoke, Wan Qiong rejected him, and the person who came to buy a mountain nearby also mocked him. Soon, however, Wan Xiu stood out, holding an iron hammer. Seeing his own daughter care so much for Chen, Wan Qiong was so angry he almost couldn't breathe. He took out some hard-earned silver, telling his daughter to buy him a bottle of fine peach blossom spring wine. After his daughter left, he called Chen upstairs and even took out a landscape map. Now Chen had 3 generations of Jinjin copper coins, making him quite wealthy in the small town. With the mud pearl grotto heaven having descended to the earth, Emperor Dali intended to unseal all 61 Jinjin mountains outside Piyun Mountain and then sell them to other friendly factions and sections. He also promised that this place would later be consecrated with 1 great god of March, 3 gods, and 1 harmony god, guaranteeing its future flourishing. So, Chen buying a mountain at this time would definitely be a profitable venture. For buying and selling Pearl Mountain, the current minimum bid was 1 Ingchun coin. Chen currently had about 79 Jinjin copper coins, 25 Ingchun coins, 26 Gongyang coins, and 28 Yasheng coins. He wondered why it was so cheap, but Wan Qiong told him that larger mountains still required about 10 coins. However, Dali's purpose in selling the mountains was actually to curry favor with the forces behind them. So Chen also had concerns, asking, "What if I buy a mountain today, but die next year?" Wan Qiong exclaimed, "Oh, so cautious at such a young age. Don't worry. Within 300 years, Dali will absolutely not reclaim the mountain peaks without authorization." He added, "The 3 mountains I acquired definitely have the best feng shui. You can border me, be my neighbor. Even if you lease it to me, you'll get dividends every year, enjoying the benefits without effort." "Now it's settled," Wan Qiong declared. With Wan Qiong as his backing, Chen felt relieved to spend the money. But to be safe, he decided to go up the mountain to personally choose a mountain peak. As soon as he went out, he met Xiao Baoping, who was about to leave. Seeing Chen, she immediately jumped off the carriage to say goodbye. She wanted to say a few more words, but was stopped by a voice from the carriage, so she returned to the carriage. After going up the mountain, Chen constantly traveled to various places, always making sure before buying a mountain. He kept running until late at night before deciding to leave. As soon as he descended the mountain, he met people from Dali. They thought Chen had trespassed on a forbidden mountain, so they immediately attacked, intending to kill him. Chen knew he couldn't win, so he ran for his life. But after only a few steps, due to the longevity bridge, he lost all strength and fell to the ground. The moment he landed, He threw his basket away. But the opponents had no intention of letting him go. Chen didn't think much, throwing a punch and charging forward. But a voice suddenly came. A voice said, "This young brother, I've seen him at the Yuan family's place. I am Wu Yuan, the newly appointed supervisor of stoves." Another voice replied, "Just continue along Yuan Xiao's route." "Thank you. I see this young man's martial arts cultivation isn't high, yet he has the potential to break through. Of course, this place is blessed with outstanding people and spirits." Then another voice added, "Lord Gua, he is your handle." After Chen left, he still felt his body lacked strength. In the darkness, he also seemed to see a woman in white, but just as he was about to go say hello, he suddenly woke up. Opening his eyes, he realized he was in the perilous situation of falling off a cliff. Chen tried several times to grab the cliff, but couldn't stop his falling body. Fortunately, he eventually grabbed onto a cliff face, which saved his life. After struggling to climb up the cliff, he began to circulate his qi and regulate his breathing. At this moment, the boy already had the potential to break through. He stayed there for an entire night. The next day, after a simple warm-up, he resumed his plan to buy mountains. But looking at the remaining Jinjin copper coins in his hand, he really didn't know how to proceed. Soon, a bird dropping appeared on the map. Chen thought this was fate, so he decided to buy this Luapa mountain. Little did he know, this was a trap. "All of these are mine," a voice declared. "It's good to be rich." Okay, that's all the content for this video. If you enjoyed it, please don't hesitate to like, share, and subscribe. After all, your support is my motivation to keep creating content. I'm Chen. See you in the next video.